So you've just purchased your first house, or you've purchased a fixer-upper or a rental house. What's the first thing you can do? The best bang for your buck to improve the way it looks, the way it's going to rent, the way it's going to sell. The answer to that question is always interior paint. This video picks up where the last video left off. I had just installed crown molding. I showed you a few tips and tricks that I use to get perfect results. So first thing you're going to see me do is caulk. You got to do a lot of prep work before you can begin to put paint on the walls. The caulking that I use is called Dynaflex 230. The less expensive stuff won't stretch with expansion and contraction and will crack sooner than a more expensive brand of caulking. Today's video is powered by Jobber. Jobber is your business command center. The easy to use app powers your sales, operations, and customer service all in one place. The first Jobber Minute. What's a Jobber Minute? It's when I take a viewer submitted question that's submitted through Instagram. I read it to you and I answer it. And it has to be relevant to the video that you're currently watching. So the question I got last week was, what do you charge per square foot for interior painting? And if you guys know me, you know that I am against unit pricing. No by the foot, no by the square foot, by the yard, by anything. Okay, so I don't do it by the unit. How do I do it? I give an estimate. I go to the house, I meet the customer, I look at the project. There are some variables that a lot of guys don't pay attention to that really take up a lot more time, and you should be paid for that time. First one is travel time. This job was an 1 hour and 5 minute drive one way. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! The next one. How many colors are there? There were 4 colors. We had the wall, we had 2 ceiling colors, that's 3, and then we also had the crown molding color, which was a white semi-gloss. So that also increases the price as opposed to just paint everything white. The height of the ceiling, how many flights of stairs did I have to climb just to get to that bedroom? How close can I park to the house? These are variables that you need to factor in to your estimate. And another big thing that I always say when people ask me, how much do you charge? How much should I charge? What's the market allow for? What's the market research say? Because you just can't throw out a number and the market won't sustain that dollar figure. So you have to work within the supply and demand of the area that you're working. Hopefully that helps both homeowners and people who paint or thinking of getting into paint work. Both of you kind of have to be aware of those things. I have a special page on their website. The link is in the description. Just click it. You can download the app for 2 weeks for free, and you get 20% off for the first 6 months if you continue to use it. Go try it out. It's free. Might be just what you're looking for. There's a lot of methods to paint. In the layers that you paint. You paint the ceiling, you paint the trim, you paint the walls. Do you cut in? Do you roll first? Do you spray? I do everything myself. So I have a specific order of operations that keeps me moving, keeps me motivated, and keeps the project just flowing well. Right? So I'll hop around and kind of go out of the traditional norms of what you paint first. You'll notice that I didn't mask anything off, and that's because I just needed to get paint on the walls. I know this is going to take a long time with 4 different colors and 2 coats per color. Basically, that's a lot of painting. I started off with the ceiling. Just get the ceiling paint up, getting the ceiling sealed because it was never sealed before. It had never been painted before. Now I'm showing a couple different methods. I used a paintbrush. Now I'm using a roller. A little bit later you'll see I'll use this little gizmo that I think it started out as an infomercial on how to cut in. But the best way to do it is with a nice paintbrush or some really good masking tape. I didn't use any tape on this project. It was all hand cut in with the paintbrush. Here you can see the first dark color that is just in the highest portion of the ceiling. This is one of those variables that I was referring to earlier that increases the cost of a paint job. Here's that little gizmo I was telling you about. If you get the wheels, you get paint on the wheels, it's all over. Just throw it away and go back to a paintbrush. I just finished up with a second coat on the ceiling. I've got the fan spinning so that it sucks air up. Trying to get that to dry as fast as I can so that I can tape and cut in. The reason I didn't tape before is, well, the tape won't stick to this texture because it has never been painted before, so it's like dusty. You rub your hand across it and it just flakes off and just doesn't stick. So I wanted to get a good coat on there to seal it up so I could actually, and I had to put caulk on, and it was a whole process. Getting it caulked in so I could get some straight lines up there. But while this section's drying and I got the dark gray out, these little shelves here are all getting dark gray over here too. So that's the plan there. Get these little plant shelves painted dark gray. It's early and it's already 77 degrees in this room. In about 2 hours we will be well above 80 in this house. Makes things adds another level of pain in the ass factor. Well, there's several inches of dust, cobwebs, and a lot of dead bugs up on those shelves. I'm going to run out and get my cordless shop vac and see if I can get them sucked up before I paint. A lot of globs of drywall mud up here. So it really doesn't matter since no one's ever going to see it besides me. Well, everything needs 2 coats. I don't know if I've already said that before or not. Especially with this dark color. It really doesn't matter what kind of paint you get. This is Duration, Sherwin-Williams Duration Home. I think that's what that is. So here you can see I'm switching things up a little bit. I'm cutting in before rolling the walls. It's just a mind over matter thing for me. To get more work done and to stay motivated. It can be daunting, the prep work and the tedious cutting in and cutting in and cutting in for hours upon hours before you actually get to put a large quantity of paint on the wall. So sometimes I will roll it first and then cut in. Other times, like right here, I will cut in and then roll up to my cut in areas. Now it's finally time to get paint on the walls. You can see the way I'm holding the roller is you want to work from left to right or right to left, but whichever way you're working, you want the roller, the closed end of the roller in the direction that you're moving. It helps prevent streaks and lines. That's really about all you need to know to prevent getting streaks going in the shape of a W. Going in a couple different directions also helps get a good paint job. Just about done here. Can't kind of believe it, but everything is getting 2 coats. And I hopped around because there are 4 different colors, different dry times. There you go. It's done. If you'd like to see the crown molding video, I will link it below, or it'll come out on a card, or it'll be at the end. Maybe it's right here, sitting in my hands. Please leave a comment below, and don't forget to go to the jobber link. It's my landing page, specifically for people who watch my videos. Get you a free 2-week trial and 20% off your first 6 months. So go check it out and see if it's right for you.